Hello, you're welcome back. How are you? I want to say a big thank you for always supporting me, for always watching my videos. Thank you. And to those that are here for the first time, I want to say a very big thank you for clicking on this video. Please be a part of this family by subscribing and turning on your notification bell to get notified. As a token of my thank you, today we are making this lovely baby doll dress. Yay! Yeah, baby girl, no matter your age. So to make this, I use 4 yards of fabric. Depending on how full or less you want it to be, you could use more or less. So let's get started. For the tutorial, you'll be needing your sleeve block and your bodice block. Assuming you've traced out your bodice block and a fresh sheet of paper, this is what you do. Firstly, you determine your neck width, how much neck width you want. So to determine the neck width, I would love a 4-inch neck width, and I would love a 4.5-inch neck deep. So you could play around with, depending on what you want, your preference. So I want kind of like a V shape, but not a total V shape. So I'm just going to draw that out. So you could, whatever your preferred neck deep is. So now, on the chest line, just extend this marking across from the arm sky, that's the armhole marking length. So here, make sure, one thing to note is that you make sure that your bodice has some ease to it. Like this one has, that's 2 inches ease, half an inch ease. This is not your seam allowance. Please note that this is not your seam allowance. You're going to add your seaming allowance all through and even down here, but just make sure that it has a little bit of ease, because you don't want it so tight that you can't take it off, since our dress won't be having a zip at the back. So what to do is, at the armhole area, the arm sky, come down 1.5 inches. So at this point, still the same line, come down 2.5 inches. Now use a curve ruler or whatever will help you with the curve. Now connect this point. You could use an hip curve if you have one. So just connect this point. Like so. It's going to be in a slant form. So now take your scissors and you cut this out. So now that you finish cutting it out, make sure that you place it on your fabric to cut. When you place it on your fabric, please add your seaming allowance. At this point, I'm going to be adding 1 inch on mine at this and have an inch here, then your seaming allowance here. So for our sisters that don't have a basic bodice, we don't want to leave them behind, I'm going to mark a straight line. You are going to determine half of your shoulder measurement. Now see that shoulder is not straight, you're going to mark a standard neck width of 3 inches first. Then you make your shoulder slope. I don't know if you like 1 inch or so. After your shoulder slope, you now put in your armhole measurement. At this point, you're going to connect. Then your bust round measurement divided by 4. That's quarter of your bust round measurement. That's what you're going to put at this point. I'm going to put ease. So my ease is going to be half an inch of ease. You could put 1 inch of ease depending on how free you want. Then the next thing is to add your seaming allowance. Bring down your line. So the next thing to do is you could just place and extend this marking across like so. The next thing to do is to come down here by 1.5 inches. I'm going to mark the 1.5 inches, then add my seaming allowance of half an inch. Then here I am going to come down by 2.5 inches like I did for the front. This is the front. I'm drafting the back now. Then half an inch as seaming allowance. Connect the point like so. Hope it's visible. So you connect this side. So next is to connect back your shoulder slope like so. Then the next width, we are using 4 inches for the front. So we'll try that at the back too, so that we'll be able to connect them. Then at the back, depending on how much deep you want it, I don't want it quite deep, so I'll just leave it at 1.5 inches. If you have your armhole curve, good. So you just curve that out nicely. So now to the armhole, you find the midpoint of your armhole. Then if you know your across back measurements, you put it. But in case you don't know your across back measurements, all you need to do is just place your armhole curve like so and just curve it out. So now that you've curved it out, don't forget that you're going to put your seaming allowance of half an inch. If you use quarter of an inch, whatever you use, you're going to put that there and cut it out. So I've shown you how to do the front, and this is the back, and I'm using freehand for the back. It's as simple as this. You cut it out. Now for the back, since we won't be using any zip, we are going to place 5 inches to 6 inch mark, however you choose, 5 inch. You're going to use your scissors and open a slit like so. Now your bodice is ready. So this is the back and this is the front that I had cut out using our pattern, so it's the same thing. Now you move this aside. Then let's quickly talk about how to go on with remaining calculation for her dress. We are going to say the total dress length is 42 inches. So now the bodice length, I'm going to measure the bodice. Measuring the bodice now, I have 12 inches. Remember that we have half-inch seaming allowance up here, and we're going to have half-inch seaming allowance down here. That gives us 11 inches. So you're going to take 11 inches out of 42 inches, and that will lead us to 31 inches. So now this 31 inches, you are going to be dividing it on the numbers of tiers you're going to have. So now you're going to have the first one, the second one, and the third one. So now the individual one, you can determine, do I want the first one to be longer? Do I want the second one to be longer? So you could come here and give the first one 11, give the second one 10 and 10. You could do 10, 11 in the middle. So you're the designer, it's all up to you. So the next important thing, that's for the length, to make it up to 42 inches. So if you add all these ones, you're going to you're going to arrive at 42 inches. So 11 plus 10 plus 11 plus 10, that's 42 inches. So the next thing to do is to determine, since we're going to be attaching each, we're going to attach this one to this one, and we're going to gather it. So gathering it, we'll use half an inch to gather it. Then you use an extra half an inch to attach. It's not the exact point that you gather it that you're going to be attaching it to it. So that's why we need 1.5 inches. That's 1 inch for the upper part and half an inch to attach this part to this part. So 1 inch, you gather it first with half inch, and the next one you attach it. That's why you need 1.5 inches. So on each length you add 1.5 inches to it. So I haven't done with the length of it. The next thing is the width of it. What is the width? Okay, like here, if I measure this out, okay, I have 19.5. So I can round it up to like 20 inches. So I could say 20, determining how much fullness I want. I don't want extra fullness, but if you want extra fullness, you could go up to 15 inches, add extra 15 inches to each tier. But I just want a moderate fullness, so I'm going to add 10 inches to each tier. But if you have less fabric and you still want you still want to make this dress, I think you should add 5 inches to it. It will still give you a reasonable amount of fullness. So I'm going to say plus 10 inches. So that will leave me 30 inches on this. Then I'll now say 30 plus 10. That will lead me to 40 inches. And 40 plus 10. That will make me to have 50 inches. So here, I'm going to bring my material that I had pre-cut for this. So here they are. So this is the first one. That is giving me the 30 inches, and this is the second tier, second layer, and this will be the third layer here. We're going to proceed to sewing at this point. You're going to gather this up, gathering it up nicely at 1/2 inch seaming allowance, and you will attach to the top. And leaving this part straight, you're going to gather this part too and attach it. Also leave this down part straight, gather here and attach it. So here I am seeing you with what it looks like after attaching it to the bodice. So I've gathered them and I've attached them nicely and neatly, as you have seen. Hope it's neat enough. So the front and the back, you're going to sew them at the shoulder. You join both shoulder. You could choose the method you want to use to finish your neckline, whether you're folding it over, are you using a facing for your neckline? None is the time. But for me, I am using a bias tape for my neckline. I'm finishing my necklines with a bias tape. Then I will be attaching a button loop at the back. So if you're going to be adding a button at the back of your dress, don't forget to attach your button loop at the back of your dress. I think it's going to like this. This part will be inside by the time you're finishing off, so that by the time you bend over, you can reveal your button loop. So if you're like me, another area bonus is if you're like me that loves a pocket in a dress, please, now it's time to attach your pockets to your dress before we finish off the remaining. So you're going to attach your pocket depending on your preference of how you like to stick your hand into your pocket. Do you like it high or do you like it low? You can comment. You can comment down below. If you like it high, you could do a 19 inch mark. You get your tape measure at 19 inches. You place a marking there. So that is where you are going to be attaching your pockets to. That's if you like it high. If you like it low, you could come down maybe 22, 24 inches depending on how you naturally like to put your hand into your pocket. So next will be the sleeve. I've cut out my sleeve, and the ruffle part of my sleeve is double my sleeve width. So it's double it. I am going to gather it up nicely like I did for the tiers and attach it to the sleeve. So here I have sewn my pockets to my dress, finish the neckline with a bias tape. Next will be to attach my sleeve to my dress, right side facing each other. After that, I will finish the side, join the front and the back dress together by the side. Make sure when you get to the pocket area, you sew across, then you continue with your seaming allowance. After which I will hem, and I will see you when I'm done with all this. Ta-da! So this is a dress in all its glory, all done. So please, thank you for watching up to this point, and also don't forget to like, subscribe, share,